if you know the question, why you ask? What did I say? The question? Right, this should be fun.
The Tomahawk Gaming System.
Gaming Desktop.
Oh,
Let's keep this here, and then maybe I'll bring the... This will be fine, right?
I hope.
it's the one and only. Don't do it, buddy.
Yeah,
don't do it.
All right. Hello everyone, I'm Dmitry with Canucks. On my first video from CES, so please be kind in the comments. Visiting Razer and seeing this new iteration of the Razer Tomahawk. Initially when we saw it, it was the Lee Alpha rebrand, but the Razer Tomahawk, not to be confused with that tower, is now something that has evolved into this really cool NUC iteration system that is going to be Razer Tomahawk full gaming system that it will include the graphics card, that will include the new NUC 9 series that we'll talk about later, but they're also launching the Razer Tomahawk chassis standalone version, the N1. And as usual, big thanks to our sponsors, Razer, Fantex, Be Quiet, and Thermaltake for making CES 2020 possible. So let's talk about the chassis itself. It will come in 4 components. As you see, the shell by itself, it's a 10-liter design, so pretty compact, following the ITX footsteps, but actually quite a bit slimmer. There's no power button, no I/O yet, but it will come in later. We have tempered glass on both sides, Razer only on the rear side, as to not interfere with any graphics card that will be showcased on this side. Very clean industrial lines, love the angularity of this, really love the mesh design on the top. Currently no talk about if they want to include any mesh on either of the sides, but love the design, very cohesive, beautiful frame. They do include 2 120mm fans for exhaust at the top, and that should provide adequate cooling for the NUC 9 and for the GPU itself. Plus there's a bit of ventilation at the bottom too, as the base plate does raise the whole chassis a little bit off the ground. Now let's talk about the actual internal components of that Tomahawk chassis. So we have the actual sled. It is toolless, just basically inserts from the back, really elegant approach. We have the power supply, it is an SFX unit. It will be, they're not unsure about the actual wattage yet, but up to 750 watts that are currently available in the market. And we also have the daughter card at the bottom, so it might have an additional M.2 slot inside, obviously have the slot for the NUC 9 and for the GPU. Multiple connectors, both for efficient power for the actual NUC 9 and the graphics card, and plenty of length here to include any high-end graphics card that you want to populate inside this case. Beautiful, elegant entire system. CNC aluminum, tempered glass. It is black though, so careful with those fingerprints. So let's bring in Mike so he can tell you more about what this whole new hardware iteration of CPU on the PCI card means for the future of computing.
Okay, so I really wanted to talk quickly about the NUC 9 and Intel's new ecosystem. So what this is, it's almost a complete PC just on one single card that's connected to the daughter card with a PCIe connector. Now on here you have a motherboard, you have M.2 SSDs, and you have a Coffee Lake 9th gen notebook CPU. In this case, it's either the i9-9980HK, the i7-9750H, or the i5-9300H, right? Yes, they're mobile CPUs, but that's to keep the TDP very low. Now the idea here is to take one of these and install it directly into the NUC onto the daughter board. Pop it in like that, and then in this case, or in Razer's case, you're actually able to install a full-length GPU in there. You're going to see in our NUC coverage that in Intel's concept NUC, they can only install an 8-inch GPU into theirs. So in Razer's case, they can go all the way up to a 12-inch GPU that you install into the daughter cards. So Razer's idea here is to build upon the NUC ecosystem by creating what they call the Tomahawk Gaming Desktop. And now what that includes is a GPU along with the NUC 9 compute module that can include any of the CPUs that I had talked about earlier, and have this as a complete desktop that they either sell themselves or sell through some of their partners. Personally, I think this is super interesting simply because of the fact that you can have a complete system that still has the 3-year NUC 9 warranty, and it just comes in this beautiful, sleek, complete chassis. Cut. Right now, it looks like this is going to be released in the first half of 2020. But what we also want to know is, what would you pay for it? We have in here a Coffee Lake notebook processor, potentially a RTX 2080, and a bunch of other components, including memory and SSDs that Razer would include as part of their complete desktop system. So pricing wise, we were saying something around the lines of $2,500. Is that something that you would pay for it, or would you be willing to go above that for something that's this compact? Now, as for the launch date, that's TBD at this point in time, but it looks like it's going to be in the first half of 2020. So I think that covers pretty much everything that we wanted to look at here at Razer, but we're going to have some additional NUC 9 coverage with more technical details coming right up. So make sure you stick around for that. I'm Mike with Hardware Canucks from CES 2020. Ivor's behind the camera, Dimitri's behind him, and we have got 4 other guys from Razer right here. I'm going to see you maybe in the next one, maybe not.